All right, and welcome back to Bayou Time. Always very happy to see Father Mark Toops, and he is on the set right now. And of course, we've seen you at different areas, but Grand Isle, Louisiana, pastor of Our Lady of the Isle Catholic Church in Grand Isle. Good to see you, Padre.
Good to see you, Martin.
All right, so you got some big things about to take place. And I guess before we get to the Day of Remembrance, that means a lot of different things because the Day of Remembrance, again, was Hurricane Ida
Yeah,
when
yeah,
it came through Grand Isle.
yeah,
And I know you've been doing a lot of
yep.
ministering
hmm
in Grand Isle, but ooh, you're starting to see a lot of signs of rebirth, aren't you?
Yeah, I think people are resilient in our area. We all know that, and the island people never cease to amaze me with their resiliency. Also, so whether it be the island community coming together to help out those who live on the island, the camp owners who have a vested interest in the rebuilding of the island, who are kind of paving a way in that way. The Bayou Community Foundation has been just heroic in the way that they have been leading things with Rebuild Grand Isle. Our hope is to help over half of the homeowners get back whole so that the island community can come back whole. So, it's a long process. It's a one day at a time process. But with all of the press that Ida got immediately, I think a lot of times you never hear these heroic stories
Mm-hmm.
of communities slowly rebuilding 2 years later. So couldn't be more proud of the community down there for the way that they're coming together.
Yeah. There's no secrets, too. I know your dad visited you and y'all were working on an irrigation system.
Absolutely. Oh, so I have to say that as we talk about significant days of the remembrance, that today is my mom's 80th birthday. She asked me not to say anything on air, so I'm not going to do that. I would never want to
Well,
embarrass
you
her.
promised her you wouldn't, so get the camera on me real quick, straight on. That's Miss Beverly. Happy birthday. We love you. You got a great son, great family. He promised he wouldn't say anything. I did not. Happy birthday, Miss Beverly. So we got that done.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
let's talk about a day to remember,
Yeah.
a day of remembrance.
Yep.
It's the 130-year
hmm
anniversary as we see it up there in 1893, Cheniere, Caminada, hurricane, which if we'd have had video back then, if we
Mm,
could document,
mm.
I hate to see what it'd have been like because the stories you hear passed on are incredible.
Yeah, yeah, things have changed so much with obviously with coverage of helping people anticipate the storm. It made landfall in the Cheniere area on October 2nd, 1893. They believe with sustained winds at 135, so a Category 4. But back then people didn't know that
Mm-hmm.
the storm was coming until they were watching the birds or feeling the drop in pressure or the ordinary ways that you would pay attention to nature. So, of the 1,500 people in the community back then, over 750 lost their lives. So, just a devastating impact on the community there, and just a chance for us to remember their souls
Mm-hmm.
and their families. Many descendants are still in the South Louisiana area, whether it be on Bayou Lafourche or in the Grand Isle area, or even in the larger circle of New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette. So, just inviting people to come back and remember and to honor those people who lost their lives, and just to celebrate the gift of the island, which has bounced back from hurricanes in the 1800s, the 1900s, and the 2000s.
Right. I'm going to make a statement which I want to just let everybody understand. Some people sometimes see me and say, why do y'all want to rehash old bad memories?
Mm,
And I go, because in some people's minds, some family members who lost family members,
mhm.
it's a good way of remembering them. They want to
Absolutely.
remember their soul, their spirit, and what they meant to the community.
Yeah, I think that when we intentionally forget our past, or when we fail to honor the people in the past, we lose an important sense of our history. Why would we want to remember something as tragic as a hurricane that took so many people's lives? Because it's a part of life.
Mm-hmm.
If we only want to celebrate the good things, then I think it's almost like a false representation of life. Unfortunately, suffering is a part of life. And when we honor those who lost their lives, those who persevered through it, then I think that we are actually honoring the fullness of our history rather than just the nice parts of our history.
Yeah, and that's well said because it's you know, and that's a proud community
Yeah.
where you live, all Bayou communities.
hmm
You can go anywhere in the country, but when you get to the Bayou communities of Terrebonne, Lafourche, or wherever you go,
Hmm.
it's just that's all family.
Just good to the core,
Right.
so nothing fancy, loyal. And I often say that, as you know from all of your years of covering hurricanes, tragedy brings out the best and worst of people.
Hmm.
But in South Louisiana, we often see the best of people when the chips are down. And it's happening right now across Terrebonne Parish and Lafourche Parish and Grand Isle. And it happened in 1893, and we're going to celebrate their lives as we remember them this Sunday.
No, it's a day of remembrance, 130-year anniversary, 1893 Cheniere Caminada hurricane in Grand Isle. So let's bring up the next graphic, and I'm going to bring Father Mark in to talk about this itinerary, which is a full day.
It is a full day. So we're going to start in Cheniere at the cemetery in Cheniere. We are blessed to have with us on Sunday Dr. John Ducey from Nichols, a son of Bayou Lafourche, a historian in his own right. He has a passion for this hurricane. He's going to put things into context for us at 12:30 at the cemetery with the mayor and our friends and any of our guests. So we're going to be at the cemetery, the actual place of remembrance, you might say, in many ways. We'll bless the tombs there. Then we're going to go to the island proper. There's a cemetery on Cemetery Lane in Grand Isle. Many island residents lost their life, and so we'll then bless the tombs there around 1:15, somewhere in between 1:15 and 1:30. And then we're going to gather in the church at 2. And at 2 o'clock, there is a formal prayer service of remembrance. Dr. Ducey will share some historical remarks for us. We have my brother pastors who are on the island at the two Christian churches that are on the island are also going to be able to share some words with us. We're going to read the names of all the deceased that we know of. And then around 3 o'clock, we'll wrap it up with a formal blessing. And then we're going to have a party after
There you
and
go.
celebrate the gift of life. So that's the schedule for the day.
I think Wendell's playing his band, huh?
Yes, he
The
is.
Hurricane Levy Band
Absolutely.
or whatever?
Yes, indeed.
Wendell Curall. That'll be, bring it up one more time. I want people at home, get your phone, take a picture of the itinerary, because we want you to go. We want you to be a part of this, and we want you to participate in the day of remembrance. All right, we'll come back to Father Mark now. And, a lot of people see these types of things and they just blow over and say, we'll do just a prayer today.
Hmm.
You got a full-fledged deal,
Absolutely. Yeah.
because I think people really want to get involved with this.
Think about how much your life has been changed because of the time that you have spent with your parents in the last decade of your life.
Yeah.
Those names are not just names. Those are people. That's someone's great-great-grandfather. That's someone's great-great-grandmother. And if that was my people, if that was my relatives, if that was my great-great-grandmother or grandfather, I would want more than just a simple prayer service.
Yeah.
I would want something that would be intentional and that would honor them and that then would celebrate, because I do believe that the people of South Louisiana who have the joie de vivre would want to celebrate. So I don't think we honor people when we just kind of when we treat them as names. Those are
Mhm.
people, and if those people were in our family, we would want to go all the way. So let's go all the way for their families, whether they can be with us or whether they're going to be with us from afar.
And this may sound like it's off the beaten path, but this is the way I think. To me, their good spirits are still there.
Yeah.
And when you're out there blessing the good spirits,
Hmm.
it eases a lot of minds.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think the way that we honor our dead has a lot to teach us who are living. And I think that when we don't honor our dead, then in some way we forget what life is all about, because there's more than to our existence than just our time here on earth.
Yeah,
And
if I were you as the pastor, I'd hate today when you pass to get up there to pearly gates and all those Grand Isle residents and Cheniere coming out of residents are going, you just gave me a prayer?
hey, when I get to the pearly gates, I'm only going to say one thing. I knew Martin Falls, and I'm banking that that's going to get me into heaven, brother.
You might go to the end of the line. But thank you. You just said that you were going to get there before me, but I might be there already. Hopefully they don't send me back, But it's always,
Absolutely.
but
No,
anyway,
but we really want to invite
yeah,
people, if they can't make it to the cemeteries, then at least try to make it at the church for 2 o'clock.
yeah.
But if they can, then join us in the cemeteries, because I think that's really where I think the sacred ground is. And if they can join us for the whole day, we'd love to see them. 12:30 we start
Yeah.
at the cemeteries, and 2 o'clock in the church.
I know you're serious about this because you're missing a Saints game.
Absolutely, and I think that the Lord's going to reward the saints if we take care of business
That's
right
why
now.
you walking right through the gates, because I know how big a fan you really are.
Yeah.
But how much work has been going into this?
It's been awesome. Lots of people have come together for it. The town, the leadership of the town has been great. The community, the different churches have come together for it. Folks from the different kind of civic organizations have come together. So a lot of people from the parish level, Jefferson Parish level, all the way down to the town level have come together. And so we're deeply grateful for everybody who's been helping out, and look forward to seeing as many people as we can on this coming Sunday. And if you want to join Windows Band for a little guest song, we can have you sing a song for us.
Well, the cane breaker could go in there with the wave breaker. Huh?
That's,
No window,
that's right.
I'm sure they'll do fun, but that'll be a fun time. And the weather's supposed to be nice.
Hopefully, it at least it's not going to rain. Hopefully, the heat can lay off for us. And I think it's also an opportunity if folks haven't been to the island since Ida to come back and to kind of see the island. It's inching back heroically, one step at a time. And I think a lot of people who have memories of Grand Isle how several years ago who haven't been back, it would be a good time for them to come to see the island.
Well, the mayor loves rocks, right?
He does.
Isn't St. Peter?
That's right.
St. Peter's at the gate. St. Peter loves rocks. The mayor loves rocks. There's a connection.
There is a connection.
Father Mark, thank you for all you do. We appreciate it. Let's bring up the flyer one more time, and we're going to let everybody know that it's Sunday, October 1st, and it all starts right there. And thank you, Father Mark. We appreciate it. That's it for Bayou Time. We'll see you right after the break. Don't go away.